Representative Jordan. 1.6 million has been spent on the Makaha Bridge project so far, and I can save that by doing away with the Makaha temporary bridge route. So there's no money lost in that project yet, and they can use the planning they've used so far. So and there's been no contract set for the replacement bridges yet. So it really isn't that late to ask the state to reconsider alternative 4, the Malco route. Agree or disagree?
To go Malco would be a city and county project, not a state project.
Alternative 4 considered a Malco route. The alternative 4 in the state project. They could have gone that way. They still can. They still can.
I guess if we can continue to go where we're going right now, we could lose the funding.
That's okay.
And we can lose.
I don't care. We lose the bridge. I guarantee you the money will be there when the bridges need to be replaced.
The challenge is the money that is going to be used to replace those bridges cannot be used for rerouting the road.
I don't agree with that. Alternative 4 was considered in the rerouting of the road. If you don't have the handout, I can show you what their logic was when they threw that out as a viable alternative. So if it was an alternative during the planning stages by RMTAL, it's still an alternative. And they could have very well went that route and used the 80% federal, 20% state.
And seek other federal funding. These federal fundings are for the bridge replacement alone. If we were to go to Route 4, we would have to seek a different source of money from the federal. They've already created that path for us. I can't change that path right now. So when they went down the path of trying to secure the $13 million from the federal, that's for bridge replacement. So we can walk away from that. That is correct. The challenge is, in these times, with the loss of our senior senator, are we likely going to get monies to reroute and to have a different agency, such as the city and county? You know,
Joe, we're not communicating here.
Yes, we are communicating here.
Because
we haven't even pulled down the 13 million. We can't right now.
I don't know where the 13 comes from. There's 22 programmed there by OMPO in the tip.
It's going to cost $21 million for this project, 13 of which comes from the federal government. The remaining will come from the state of Hawaii. We won't get the $13 million until you pull it down. You have to submit the application in the latter part, which will be October. That's why we missed it last year. They're hoping to do it this year, but we won't know that until we get closer to October to pull down the 13 million. But that money, that's like
if you look at the tip right now, they already have this tip in 2014.
That's when they want to start it. That means you pull down the money in October, you receive it by the beginning of the next year, which would be 14.
Okay, but
and hopefully construction by then.
But all the answers you tell me are that it just cannot be done.
But that's bridge money. We can't pull down the money.
This is a bridge. This is a bridge project. Wherever you put the bridges, there are bridges. Whether it's a Makaha route, a Malco route, or the current route.
We are at a point where it's a health and safety issue. Now, I disagree with you.
Have you been under the bridges?
They are in bad.
You haven't been under the bridges
I
then.
understand that that's number one on the state list. It's number one on the federal list.
Okay.
Well, just don't want to.
No, we are at a point where if the state can't pull down the money by like October, the beginning of next year, we lose the project anyway.
And,
so that's where we're at.
And that's what I'm rooting for. Okay, thank you.
I mean, we can root for that, but the reality is where are we going to get the money to reroute? I'm being honest with you folks. If you want to reroute the road, we haven't even started the plan. There has been, the city did their master plan. They have a road drawn on a map. They've done testing with University of Hawaii for soil. That was way back 13 years ago. It hasn't moved forward since then. There's been no planning, no designing. So we need to go back and start asking our new council member. Remember, this has been a 13-year project. John DeSoto, Mr. Gabbard, Tatapo, Bird, now we're at Pine. Council members, nobody picked up the torch. This board has said since 2000, reroute the road. The community has said that. I get it. But we're at a point. So it is moving forward. They all know that. It is moving forward. But the challenge is you still have to pull down the 13 million. That's not going to happen until the state's ready to do it in October. So if you die at any moment, the bridge can collapse tomorrow, and they can put an iron bridge up because it was an emergency.
One last comment, Joe, is the state DOT doesn't use money as their excuse for not going the Malka route.
No, and I don't make that excuse for them. Our voices obviously were not heard back then. That was a different administration.
And you're not hearing my voice now.
I'm hearing your voice.
But you're not. I would ask you to.
I can't.
You know too much about the system.
No, I don't. I know what's happened on this board for the last 13 years and what the community wanted. I need to go and talk to Representative Pine and say, Representative Pine, please put in a measure for some planning to reroute our road. Start the process. I can't do that. All I need to do is protect my constituents who live on the other side of the road. And until such time this falls through. During that, I have to say health and safety reasons. God forbid that collapses and a person is on it.
But that's not fair to use that argument because the bridges because they've been repaired. If you go underneath them, they have steel I-beam construction. And oh, by the way, if they were that bad, the state would put a weight limitation on them and/or turn them into one-lane bridges. So
be careful what you're asking for.
Well,
that can happen.
You know, I'm smart enough to figure it out. I'm not a total naive in the situation, but as long as we use this sort of Damocles of the bridge collapsing.
Okay, please. Okay, Ms. Jordan, I was informed that the way around it is by you introducing a bill. So just think about it.
I'm sorry. Last year, if you guys were watching, there was a bill that passed last year. The 11 most important bridges. Makaha Bridge 3 and 3A are on that list. They'll be done. I can't introduce a measure to repeal that.
Okay,
No, you won't.
Just think about it.
No, it's not like I won't. I can't. How can I? This session's already done for introduction of bills.
Then you write it for next session. That's all I'm asking.
So you're telling me to put health and safety of my constituents in front of stopping a bridge project?
No, I'm not. I'm saying health and safety isn't an issue, but we're just not going to communicate on that. So.
Okay, just think about what he's saying, and you think about what she's saying. So just think about it, how we can work around this situation.
You know, as we move forward, these are all little baby steps. Again, we are in a fiscal situation at the federal level. We could lose $13 million before we even ask for it, bottom line. You know, they're not even going to ask for it until we're lucky, maybe October. If not October, it'll be next April.
Okay, so go talk to who you need to talk to, and just think about it. What's the best approach for this?
Right now, I've got people asking for the bridge to be repaired due to health and safety issues.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else to report? Okay. Thank you very much.
But I would strongly encourage you to ask the city to start moving forward on rerouting around their park. I would really encourage that.